This woman is spinning to the left, right? Or is she spinning to the right? Actually, the answer to which direction the woman is spinning is neither. This is an optical illusion known as the kinetic depth effect. The spinning dancer can be seen spinning in either one or the other direction. If you pay attention, you can see her switching between spinning to one side or the other. The human brain is a fascinating organ, but what interests me more than optical illusions are the reasons for how and why we act. This is what psychology tries to answer, and over the years, this field has accumulated many explanations for our behavior. These are called psychological effects. If you are interested in discovering why you do certain stuff the way you do, then keep watching, as in this multi-part series, I will be diving into the crazy world of psychological effects.
As you can see, exposure to aggressive modeling is hardly cathartic.
Soon the sound alone made the dog drool.
And this enormously reduces the pressure to conform.
Milgram's findings horrified America.
Now, of course, we won't go through all of the psychological effects out there, as the list of these is a mile long, and who knows how many psychological effects we don't even know about, as we haven't discovered them yet. So this list will be subjectively the most interesting psychological effects I could find. Most likely there will be 3 videos in total going over the different categories of effects. I won't say what categories the later videos will be about, so if you don't want to miss the later parts, take a moment now to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. For this first video, we will go over the category that I labeled as individual. This is my car, and you probably noticed that this color combined with this car model doesn't look all that good. Before I got this car, I'd never seen these types of vehicles on the road before, especially not with a color like that. Then once I drove it to the city for the first time, and until now, I noticed the same cars like mine more frequently. I don't think this could be popular, so what's happening here? Baader Meinhof effect, or more easily pronounceable the frequency illusion, is a psychological effect when, after noticing something for the first time, there is a tendency to notice it more often and, as a result, believe the illusion that it occurs more frequently. In reality, that's all it is, an illusion of occurrence, because the thing itself hasn't placed itself all around the place suddenly, but a person just didn't notice it before. This psychological effect, like some other ones in this video, is what is actually called a cognitive bias, and it's a tendency for the brain to make the incoming information simpler to process, and so it lets the information through a filter of a person's personal experiences and preferences. One thing I definitely don't need to worry about when it comes to this car is falling in love with it, right? The Tamagotchi effect is the development of emotional attachment with machines, robots, or otherwise things that do not have any emotions. The name of the psychological effect came from a Japanese toy released in 1996. It's a small egg-shaped toy with a screen that allows a person to interact with a virtual pet or a creature. The user can feed, play, and interact with the creature in other ways, but all of it can create an emotional attachment. If you hop on over to YouTube and search for Tamagotchi videos, take a look at the comments and how most of the people there describe Tamagotchi as a very nostalgic part of their childhoods. However, unlike a video game or a piece of nostalgic music, Tamagotchi seems to be remembered as pets that truly existed and provided real emotions for the kids back in the day. This all seems fun and innocent, but can the Tamagotchi effect become troublesome? This man here actually married a virtual anime character. Whilst this is an extreme example, this guy is not the only one who took it to the next level, and there are more people out there struggling with this type of psychological issue. The Tamagotchi effect can be severe to people who have experienced isolation, or it can be actually the cause of isolation and in turn psychological problems. Connecting with people and forming relationships is an essential part of human nature. If this social foundation is simulated, however, you can see that the results are quite severe. So make sure you are out there actually interacting with real life humans and not this. No, this is actually, should I take care of this? The Kewpie doll effect comes from our motivation to take care of an infant because of the child's physical features, such as a lengthened forehead and a rounded face. This is a Kewpie doll, and the effect is named after it because the doll's features triggers us to take care of it as it resembles a baby. According to the evolutionary theory, a baby who has similar facial features to that of the Kewpie doll has increased chances of survival as the caregiver gives more attention to him or her. This happens because the baby is considered cute, and cuteness motivates us to take care of and love. Research has shown that mothers of babies with Kewpie doll-like appearances show more affection with, play more often with, and are engaged more with their babies in comparison with mothers with less attractive babies, despite the common belief that parents will treat their child the same regardless of appearance. I believe this effect also happens when we see cute animals, as small dogs or cats often have these facial features resembling that Kewpie doll. But something about this doll just strikes me. I don't think I'll be able to get this face out of my head, and that's the problem, as I already have this one annoying song stuck in my head. And also last week I saw this movie that I also think about daily. But why? Why are these things stuck in my head? The Tetris effect occurs when a person spends a lot of time and attention on an activity to the point that he or she begins to form thoughts and mental images around that activity even when not engaged in it. The effect got its name from a 1984 video game. People who have played Tetris for an extended amount of time reported that they would imagine places in real life where Tetris pieces would fit, such as on an empty shelf in a grocery store. People also said that they see distinct colored moving shapes when they are trying to fall asleep. For me, this effect happens on a daily because I enjoy listening to music a lot, and whenever I'm driving or have some leisure time, I usually listen to something. That's why when I'm in silence, I hear music in my head, especially right after waking up in the morning. Actually, now that I'm talking about this, I think that the mentioned frequency illusion will kick in and I will start noticing it even more. However, I think that the Tetris effect is not something that, oh, it's there, whatever kind of thing, but I think this effect hinders us. In my example, sometimes it gets more difficult than necessary to focus on something when I'm trying to be productive and creative. Imagine you are trying to improve and better your sleep. If you engage in something very active like music that hypes you up, an intense movie, or a video game, this can make it harder for you to fall asleep as you just lay there recreating sounds and images that you've recently experienced. But playing video games, watching movies, consuming social media, eating junk food, all of these things bring more pleasure, and more pleasure brings more happiness. That's logical. Well, as it turns out, it's not so logical. The hedonic treadmill, also known as hedonic adaptation, is a tendency for a person to return to their base level of happiness despite experiencing major either negative or positive life events. This is the exact reason why, for example, when a person makes more money or buys more stuff, the excitement quickly wears off and is replaced by a bigger desire, and so that person keeps chasing that short-term excitement by raising their expectations and wants. The result is that no matter the amount of money or stuff, happiness and satisfaction doesn't rise to a certain level and just stay there, but it actually over time returns to the base level of happiness. On the other side, this hedonic adaptation helps a person to recover from a negative life event. It's kind of a comforting thought, as no matter the pain that you experience, there's a good chance that with time and healing, you will always be able to bounce back. Everybody says to stay positive and look at the bright side. In reality, people focus more on the dark side. In this 2001 Science article, there was this example. Imagine that you were about to eat a delicious meal that you know is delicious, but you see a cockroach. Your meal is most likely ruined. On the other hand, if you're about to eat a meal that you don't even like in the first place, could there be an opposite thing to the negativity of a cockroach that would make the meal you're about to eat delicious? No. The negativity effect suggests that both animals and humans feel negativity more intensely than positivity, even when both things are of an equal intensity. This happens most likely because of survival. If a person feels danger more intensely, it means that he or she will focus on it more and increase the chances of dealing with it. Even though you have this innate mechanism inside of you, this shouldn't stop you and make you give up on trying to improve in life. Look at the negativity effect as a positive thing. Negativity protects you from those times when you don't take responsibility, start to procrastinate, and so on. When you do the wrong thing, this negativity effect makes you feel uncomfortable, and that uncomfortable feeling is a call to improve. The negativity effect actually prompts you with the choice of using another natural behavioral mechanism inside of you, the positivity effect. This is when you find yourself in that undesirable outcome, but choose to look at it positively and use the opportunity. What you shouldn't do, however, is to hope that your problems will be solved by the stars in the sky. The Barnum Effect happens when a person accepts their personality description, thinking that it only describes them and them alone, whilst in reality, this description is pretty vague and can be used to describe pretty much anybody. This effect could explain how people believe in astrology, mainly horoscopes that describe personality, fortune-telling, aura reading, and some personality tests. When you meet a new person, tell them that you are really good at reading people and say this: "Oh, I see from your eyes that you are a person who deals with a lot of pain, but you are strong because you don't give up and you keep moving forward." Most likely, that person will believe that you know how to read people, because chances are that he or she will accept this abstract personality description. In reality, you can say that to just pretty much anybody, because, of course, people have problems in their life that are either trying to fix or think that they are trying to fix in any way possible. And the problems for these people will make them all equal. Oh, that rhymes. It must be true then. Rhyme as reason effect is another interesting psychological phenomenon. People tend to judge statements that rhyme as more true than statements that don't rhyme. As an example, in this 2000s experiment, the rhyme "what sobriety conceals, alcohol reveals" on average was preferred than the statement "what sobriety conceals, alcohol unmasks." That's why if you want to win in life, you better join my Discord, Disciples of Life. Okay, sorry, after this shameless promotion, I just feel that I need to take a shower. The Lady Macbeth effect occurs when feelings of shame activate a feeling of wanting to clean. The effect gets its name from the Shakespeare's play Macbeth, when the character Lady Macbeth imagined blood and felt the urge to clean her hands after committing murder. In this 2006 experiment, one group of participants was asked to remember their good deeds, whilst the other group bad deeds. Then each group was asked to fill these three words. The participants who were asked to remember a bad deed from their past were about 60% more likely to fill in the words with wash, shower, and soap instead of the alternative words of wish, shaker, and stop. From my life, I can think of examples when I would, let's say, focus on eating more healthily and fail to do that, but just binge eating a lot of junk food and then feeling shameful afterward, which would prompt me to take a shower and or clean my room. Doing research of these psychological effects and writing about them whilst thinking of personal examples was a really interesting experience. It's like knowing that before you experience this type of behavior, but never looking too deeply into it of why you experience it. And then boom, you see that, oh, this thing that I do has a name. Hopefully this video was informative for you guys and made you kind of learn something more about yourself, because I definitely learned a lot. However, this is not the end, and part 2 is coming. Check the description of this video of the part 2 if I have released it. Other than that, remember that meaning is always above pleasures. And take care, guys.